Hi, everybody. You're about to hear a brief of the movie Mission Red. Enjoy. Since Jack was a little boy, he's been stealing steel and didn't believe in Santa Claus. The night before Christmas, he ate all the cookies and drank the milk that was left 30 years past for Santa. The bad boy grew up and continued to steal. Jack owed a lot of money to the bookies, so he has to do dangerous jobs for good pay. He just started a fire and distracted the guards so he could just sneak into the seismic control room and secretly tap into the system. And then the bastard also stole a lollipop from a kid's lollipop at the mall. The big guy is guarding Santa Claus, watching the little-by-little store robbed by an old man to shake down kids out of line. A blogger with a cell phone. The big guy insisted that the boy to leave before he used force. By the way, this Santa Claus is the real Santa Claus. Callum is his head of security, but the big guy's about to retire to quit. In the hangar, Santa was waiting for him. Giant reindeer and a powerful, state-of-the-art Santa Claus sleigh is launching, escorted by fighter jets so that some fools didn't accidentally. At some point, the reindeer's antlers glowed a different color, and the sleigh picked up first space velocity to travel to the North Pole. The unusual phenomenon was detected by the seismic center. Jack immediately relayed the data to the customer. He got paid. But the second he lost all the money, Santa Claus arrived at his base of operations, a huge modern city where fairy tale creatures live, all of them working to make sure that every child to get their gift on Christmas. Santa did 500 push-ups in 5 minutes. Callum gave his boss a letter of resignation. He loves kids. Adults piss him off. Plus, there's more naughty people on the list. Now there's more naughty people than there are. The good ones need someone younger, someone 300 years old. Someone who's ready to make a difference offered his employee a snack and a cookie. Eat a cookie. He himself burns 430 million calories every Christmas. Santa's residence was discovered. A group of intruders began to break open the protective dome. Callum noticed that the lights were out in the main building on several floors of the main building. Santa Claus was missing. Callum raised the alarm. The boss has been taken away on an armored snowmobile. The vehicle is tearing down everything in its path. The big man immediately launched in pursuit to catch up with the criminals. Callum got a toy snowmobile and scaled it up and enlarged it to its actual size. At some point, the armored sled was hit by an avalanche. Callum opened the hatch and saw that there was no one inside. He outsmarted Santa. Taken away on an airplane, the trolls quickly tracked down the man who helped the kidnappers. Jack is a badass hacker and the world's best detective. And he's also a deadbeat dad who sometimes has to communicate with his son. Dylan. The kid's in trouble. He falsified attendance at school and blew a tire on a former friend's bike. His dad only gave him one piece of advice: if you're doing something, you don't want to get burned. Near his house, Jack noticed some suspicious-looking guys pretending to be garbage men in the entryway. They began to surround him in the apartment, but the man was waiting for him. In his apartment was a special forces unit with strange devices that literally disable. They got into a fight and Jack won. Came out victorious, and Jack was forced to climb outside through a window. That's where he was. They knocked him out. When the adventurer came to, he's being questioned by some lady, but Jack has no idea who he was doing a job for, and where it got him. Man, Zoe's packaged pole is the director of an organization that protects the mythological world. Jack was laughing until he saw the headless horseman and the burning pumpkin. Yesterday, Jack helped the intruders locate the place where Santa Claus has been hiding for several hundred years. An angry Callum burst in here. Sometimes they need a little shaking up. We're not going to get along in here. You're the one I like. I like you the least. Callum wanted this guy torn to pieces by a polar bear, but Zoe thinks the detective could be useful to them. The hacker confessed to planting a Trojan horse on the client's computer and now can track his location. The man they're looking for is in Aruba, woke up in prison in the form of a glass ball. He's been kidnapped by a young girl who wants to spread fear in the world, and in doing so, to make the world a better place, and to do that, she needs all the energy of Santa Claus. The blonde girl took the unusual snow globe out of the drawer, the one and only, and no one can accomplish his mission. The brilliant detective was quick enough to locate the customer and his guards on the beach. The client and his guards. There were a lot more mercenaries than at first glance. Well, Callum has magic shoes with which he can shrink, and his village was still there. The bald man scattered the mercenaries and interrogated the customer. Tet was terrified and refused to say the name of the one who approached him, because she'd hear it right away. Tet wrote the name on the sand, and Jack immediately said it. Out loud. "You're a fool, Ryla." No, the gorilla took over Ted's body and spoke to Kalumam. The witch is going to punish all the naughty people who have lied and littering and being rude and being late. I mean, Grilla's gleefully trying to punish just about all the people, and she's got the power to do it, of Santa. Ted came to his senses, and out of the water onto the beach came an ice cream truck. 3 thuggish snowmen get out of it. With their weapons, they're able to instantly defreeze a person. We have to save Ted, because he's the only lead. However, it's unclear how to stop these giant snowmen. They have the ability they can regenerate. Besides, they can't even be thawed. Ted tried to escape, but he was frozen. During the fight, Callum pulled a carrot out of his head. A carrot, and the snowman immediately fell apart. That's their weak spot. Although if you blow up, the snow monster will also never to recover. The last snow monster had already almost got Jack, but Callum saved him. His carrots need to be ripped off. I think I'll remember that for the future. Bearded Boy got a ticket and was given an unusual balloon. The man took it. The man picked it up and disappeared. Callum suggested that the witch might have been sleeping with the adopted Santa Claus adopted brother, who's hiding out in Germany. The partners entered the portal, at which point Jack got a call from his ex-wife. Scolded him for missing Dylan's concert. He's a really aren't much of an advocate. Christmas Eve arrived at the cemetery. Callum told me that Santa's brother was obsessed with punishing naughty kids. And does he have a name, or is he's just Santa's brother? His name is Crumpus. Callum suspects that his boss might be being held here. He activated his miracle bracelet and hacked into the crypt, guarded by hellhounds. Callum got the keychain and turned him into a real chicken. That's how he distracted the monsters and captured the thief. The uninvited guests were thrown into the dungeon. Callum confessed that after 542 years of service, he decided to quit because stopped believing in human beings. Brought to the party of Crumpus the Dark. The Lord was just playing Crumpus Bream Demon. Didn't even move after the slap. But his opponent was having Crumpus is surrounded by a bunch of monsters. They took away Callum's magic. Crumpus has spent 700 years punished the naughty with Grillo. Now he's done with the horny one. He didn't kidnap his brother, and Grillo has came to him recently to get her back gift of an eye Kafka ball that serves as a prison for one creature, because for trespassing on its domain, Callum is here forever. He'll stay here, and the man can go. Suddenly, Jack offered Crumpus parry. He and Callum will play Crumpus Bream if the horny one wins. He stays here too. Here, and if he loses, the bald man will leave. And if he loses, Bald will go with him. With feces is not bad, I can spare you and kill you. The first blow is the next blow is the next blow. Half-boxed Callum's head, another one of these. He won't survive the slap. Tricky Jack. Stole the magic bracelet and put it back on Callum's arm, and used it to send Crumpus to knock Crumpus out and revive 2 toy robots, which began the monster until they were brutally broken by Crumpus. But the partners managed to Jack forgot himself and called the witch by name again. The witch by name again, which gave the grill a thought in the middle of the road. She put a grand piano and left a gift for Jack, another balloon for the naughty ones, the same one she sent to Dylan. The kid took it in his hand and immediately disappeared. Jack had to touch Kafka's eyes. He found himself in a glass prison next to his son. The satisfied witch looked at them and commanded them to start production of other snow globes. I will personally bring one for every bully on Zoe's list. And Callum realized that this kind of production could only be produced at the Santa Claus factory, using his own energy. which means that Saint Nicholas hasn't been taken anywhere. He's still at his residence. Callum contacted Mrs. Claus. Grandma, can't she bake macaroons for her husband? The bald man immediately realized he was talking to a werewolf. Klaus doesn't. The sons tried to stop the heroes, but Santa's team got the drop on them. But Callum and Jack climbed up on the wagon. The grill scattered them to the sides. Jack got the idea to disconnect the reindeer from the sleigh, went flying into the sky, and the Grilla, after the accident, flew off into the abyss. Unfortunately, she's not yet. She's not finished. Grilla has climbed back up in her true form, a 5-meter tall, an ugly old woman with 2 tails, was about to attack the protector of Christmas, but then her former self was attacked from the air, was attacked by a Crumpus. However, the Grilla, as she had done during their relationship, she gave the horny one and then got Jack, and Callum thought the fight was lost. But then Santa Claus woke up and called out the reindeer that shot the witch and threw her into a container of magic. One of them captured the bad girl. Said Santa thanked his brother for his help, but Crumb didn't want to stay for Christmas. He didn't want to stay for Christmas, to bring the holiday to every home. Jack and Dylan will keep Santa company, and they've seen firsthand saw the super old man as he shrinks down and into the chimneys, acting like a tireless ninja while being reinforced by the gingerbread and cookies that the owners had left just for Santa Claus. So the famous Santa flew all over the winter globe. And in the morning, the children found under the tree the gifts they'd envisioned. Jack got along with his son Callum, saw in his place the boy child who hides in every adult. The bald bodyguard believed in people again in people, and decided to stay on Santa's payroll. Translated with deepl.com, free version,